think that that really gets at the heart of why I'm so captivated with philosophy too, and why for both of us, philosophy has never been just philosophy. Like,
Yes,
we
definitely.
also are both writers, and
Yeah,
it's obviously different in a different medium, but like still creative, right? It's so important to have this conversation around philosophy as a pursuit for how we live our life, and not just like, obviously, that's kind of been a like, Aristotle was very much about that. Sartre kind of took us back to that in this other way that's like, it's not just how do we approach like human flourishing, how do we approach growth, how do we approach care and conception of self, but like, how do you actually live out your values? How do
yeah,
you actually
yeah, yeah.
live your belief? Philosophy is like, can't be just intellectual, and so often it is.
Yes,
And
100%.
I think that that's really sitting at the core of what we're doing here, is trying to like breathe life into this facet of philosophy, and like everything that you just said is living example as why that's important, and I think makes
Mhm.
it so much more accessible to people who are like, "Hey, I'm not going to sit down and read
Yeah,
an essay from someone using dense language that's like
yeah,
purposefully trying to be
yeah.
obtuse and
Confusing, yeah.
obstructive." Yeah.
Throwing in Latin phrases just to sound smart. We know how to
Right.
do it.
Yeah, well, it's like, sure, we could if we wanted to, but why? Because at the end of the
Right.
day, aren't we trying to make meaning by conveying a message to someone else? And I think what you said about like the difference in medium between writing being about a specific, like concise, clear message, whereas art is so much more open ended. I think that both have the nature of like, once it leaves your hands, it's no longer just yours. Like,
Right.
anyone can also interpret anything from writing, like,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
poetry, I think is where we
Yeah, I
really
was
see the
gonna
middle
say,
ground
like,
there.
it's not always like
Right.
it's debatable whether it's impossible to write something and there's a whole another side of philosophy that's that conversation about, okay, when I say I have a blue door or something, I don't know, like, is that the same mental picture in somebody else's head? So
Right. Like, what does
that's
all of that
also a whole nother.
actually yeah, mean, but there is something different in the way that meaning is made by the viewer, by the reader, in reading a text and
Yeah.
viewing a painting. And I think the fact that that is different and we can practice both, I don't know, it's just
Yeah.
cool to me.